which leads us to scavenging and butchering. I mention them together because these gathering skills are two sides of the same coin, since they both describe the skill of extracting resources from dead creatures. There is an important distinction, however. Scavenging can only be used on relatively intelligent, sentient creatures. Butchering is only used on non-sentient creatures. Think of it this way. If it's smart enough to wear clothes, then it's probably got pockets, and then you'll need to scavenge. No clothes means no pockets, and you'll need to butcher. So, let's talk about scavenging. The first thing we'll need is a corpse. In order to scavenge a dead monster, that monster must be completely looted. There will be an easy way to tell if a creature can be scavenged. There will be flies buzzing around the corpse. Next, you must own the scavenging rights for that creature. Scavenging rights are initially owned by the player or group who killed the monster. After a while, however, the scavenging rights open up to any scavenger. When you first learn the skill, you will be able to scavenge dead monsters up to level 5. As your skill increases, you will be able to scavenge high-level dead monsters. We'll finish discussing gathering skills by talking about butchering. Butchering is for all intents and purposes exactly like scavenging, except only non-sentient monsters can be butchered. So the only thing you can recover from their corpses are meat, skin, and bones. What do you expect? It's butchering. These ingredients have very specific and important uses, however, which leads us to our first crafting skill, apothecary. Apothecary is a skill that allows players to create potions, lotions, and powders. You can use this skill anywhere, any place, and any time. Once a player has the apothecary skill, he or she will then need some ingredients. Merchants will sell all the necessary ingredients to make low-level potions. However, ingredients for high-level apothecary will naturally come from cultivating, scavenging, and butchering, and a few other surprises. So now that we know where we get ingredients, let's run through how a player uses apothecary. The first thing a player needs is a container. No crafting, of course, can be done without one. It's messy and it burns your clothing. Most apothecary containers have 4 slots. The first slot is for the main ingredient. Main ingredients determine what kind of potion you are going to make. However, main ingredients are very, very unstable. To make the overall concoction stable enough to succeed, you'll need to add additional ingredients. Once you started hunting down higher level ingredients, skilled potion makers will realize that they can start designing potions. So the apothecary system at its heart is all about experimentation. It's about taking this ingredient and that ingredient and that ingredient, putting it together and see what happens. Sometimes things work really well. Sometimes things work exceptionally well. Some ingredients make concoctions more stable. Some make potion effects last longer, and some even increase the number of doses made. If your creation is unstable, there is a chance that the potion will fail. Luckily, although your container may be destroyed in such a failure, the ingredients gathered by player's skill cannot be lost. So, here's another example of how we leave so much of the decision-making regarding the crafting system up to the player. Let's say you're going to do RVR tonight. Maybe you only have 2 hours. So you're going to craft some potions that are only going to last this long and will be very powerful. On the other hand, if you were going to do PvE and wanted to play for, say, 6 hours, you're going to craft potions that are a little less powerful but will last this long. Furthermore, there's always the chance that something truly extraordinary might happen, making your potion a lot more than you expected. And let's finish by talking about our last crafting skill, talisman making. As you might have guessed, this skill allows players to make talismans. We're kind of clever, aren't we? Talismans are minor items of power, which can be attached to some armor and weapons. Only rare and powerful items can have talismans attached to them. To make a talisman, you will need 4 items from various crafting and gathering skills, including, of course, a magical fragment for magical salvaging. You could consider this the main ingredient. Combining these objects requires a container, just like apothecary. The overall power of the talisman depends on the total power of the 4 ingredients. More powerful fragments and essences are likely to make a better talisman. Some talisman effects give bonuses to stats, armor, and resistances. More powerful talismans can have much more elaborate bonuses. I can assure you of one thing, that no matter what, you will see that what we are trying to create is something different, something interesting, and we hope and expect that it will be fun as well. If you look at what we did at Camelot, taking something that was heavily evolutionary, but with enough revolutionary things in it, like RVR, to make it a great game. That is what we're trying to do with the crafting system. Take a non-recipe based system, take a non-grindy based system. These are not new ideas, but take them and put them together in a really interesting way. A way that will be fun for the players, whether they're PvE geared, whether they're RVR geared, whether they just, frankly, even want to craft a little bit. All in all, I think we are on track to having a great system. But in the end, it will be up to you to decide whether we've hit it or not. I hope we have. I hope we've hit a home run with this system, just as we have with things like the Tome of Knowledge, with public quests, and other things in our game that are really going to set a new standard for MMOs. We are working very hard on this system, and over the next few months, we're going to talk a lot more about not only what I've talked about today, but other systems as well. We hope you find them as compelling to play as they have been to make. But no matter what, I thank you all for your interest in our game, in crafting, and just frankly everything else that we do here. I hope you enjoyed as much as we have enjoyed making the game so far. Thank you very, very much.